Hey, Dana, good to see you again. How's life in Abu Dhabi? It's you're home away from home.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, man. It's the perfect time of year to come here. The weather's perfect, and we got a fun week planned. You know, we got a Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, a great fight. So we're gonna be having fun.
When you guys announced, if you first started talking about Fight Island after the pandemic hit, and everything else was shut down, the whole sports world was shut down, the whole world was shut down. You guys said, look, we're going to keep going one way or another. We're not going to stop. And we have a contingency plan. And one of the contingency plans is this mysterious Fight Island. I think there were people who were skeptical. There was probably some eyes rolled about it. People didn't believe it. But, what did it mean for the company, for the sport, for you guys to be able to continue to have a base outside the United States so you could, bring fighters in? That continuity, being able to pull off Fight Island.
It was massive. I mean, we broke every record we ever had as far as the business goes, except for live gates. So, it was incredible. There's some crazy stat like Fight Island merchandise that the time that we did Fight Island sold more merchandise than we sold merchandise in 2019, the entire year. The TV ratings were up 30%. The list just goes on. Social media was through the roof. We ended up we're like over 25 million now, just on Instagram for the UFC, and it's just every way that the business could be successful in 2020. It was.
As you said, you got a big week of events coming up there. Looking beyond this, and I know it's tough for any of us to look down the road and predict what's going to happen because it's been the craziest year of all of our lives. But is there a future for Fight Islands? How much of a future is there for Fight Island in 2021 or even beyond this? Is this a purely a emergency pandemic measure, or do you see a future for it?
Well, Fight Island, we're going to keep doing this as long as we have to. And I think what you do is we've had a long, 12, 13 year relationship with Abu Dhabi. And, we're going to continue to put on fights over here. But I think that when this thing ends and you can literally have fans and you can sell out arenas, we have to do a Fight Island with fans. The fans have been seeing all the images of Fight Island. They've been seeing, the videos that my staff and myself are posting of the hotel, the restaurants, and all these other things. It's such a cool destination for a fight. We got to put on, a big badass fight over here. To I guess say goodbye to Fight Island before we stop doing it.
Let's look. We got to talk about Conor McGregor. Obviously, he stirs a lot of conversation in the sports world, whenever he's about to fight, and even sometimes when he's not fighting. You guys had some awkward moments in the fall. With the text message stuff going public. I know, that's. There's always kind of a question about where his head's at and, what he wants to do with his career. He's made an enormous amount of money in the last few years with the Mayweather fight, the Khabib fight. Like, I'm not sure I'd want to fight anymore if I made the money he has, but.
And his UFC fights. He makes more money than anybody's ever made.
Well, I was going to say, the Khabib fight was a monster global event. He could live his life pretty comfortably and never have to worry about getting kicked in the head again. Where is his head right now, Dana? I know you've talked about it a little bit. Do you think that he's, very committed to being active this year, having a big year? Where's he at right now?
Yeah, the Conor McGregor that's going to show up here on Fight Island on the 17th is fun. This is the guy that I love being around fight week. This is the guy that I love to see get into the octagon on Saturday night. His head's in the right place. And yeah, the thing that he and I had last year, I didn't think we were ever going to get over. I didn't think that was going to be possible, but we did, and we're in a really good place. And the way that he's talking right now, if this Conor sticks around for 2021, it's going to be fun. He'll fight 3 times this year. If he wins on Saturday, one of those will probably be for a world title again, and the other one will be for a defense if everything goes his way.
What motivates him at this stage? What is it that makes him tick at this stage in his career?
It's a good question. That's something you'd have to really ask him. He's got all the money in the world. He's accomplished so much stuff since he's been here. I think what happens is, he took some time off. This pandemic breaks out, and I think he was really skeptical too. Like you said earlier, a lot of people were when we started Fight Island. You know, how this was going to work out and what was going to happen. And it allowed him to have some time off. And a lot of these guys that become as famous as him, you know, once they take some time away from the sport, you start to miss it. And you start to get that itch to get back and train. And that's a healthy, good thing to do sometimes. So that's where he's at right now.
Like, I know there's certainly people in the boxing world that were trying to lure him over there because they understand the money. They saw the money that the Mayweather fight made. Pacquiao, Manny Pacquiao most notably, but there are other guys. Everybody's calling them out because they see easy money, right? They see this is, you know, we can turn this into a mega event pretty much instantly. That hasn't happened though. Do you think he's ever going to go that route again, Dan?
I don't know. You know, Conor is one. You know, listen, Conor is one of those guys that will push you and push you and push you, and see what he can do and see what he can do. But he's extremely loyal. He's been very loyal to me. He's been very loyal to the UFC. And, you know, when he wants to do something, he lets me know what he wants to do, and we try to figure it out. But it's been a great relationship with him. Other than what happened between us last year, we've had a great relationship. It's been fun. And, you know, hopefully that continues this year. And, you know, he gets 2 or 3 fights in.
Now, I know I've seen some of the quotes about you that you said that you're going to talk to Khabib to see if he might want to continue. You know, when he laid the gloves down, it looked, you know, pretty definitive, and obviously an enormously emotional thing for him after losing his father. Said he didn't want to do it anymore. Where are you with him now, Dana? Do you think he's going to fight again?
Yeah, and I agree with you. You know, going into that fight, physically, emotionally, you know, mentally, that kid was just wore out and beat down. And look at how he performed. He looked incredible. And now he's had plenty of time. He won. He went home, spent the holidays with his family. He has had time off. He's had time to heal. He's had time to think. So I expect this to be, I'm probably going to end up meeting with him tomorrow or the next day. Probably tomorrow. And I expect this to be a real quick conversation. This isn't going to be some big, long, drawn-out thing. He's had time to think. He knows what he wants right now. All he's got to tell me is yes or no.
Do you have any sense of which way that's going to go?
I'm hoping for a yes. I mean, the kid is phenomenal. He's an absolute freak of nature. He's so good. His dad always wanted him to hit 30, and obviously the fans would love to see him again. But another guy. One of the things he doesn't need is more money. Mm-hmm. He's got plenty of money. He can live the rest of his life and never fight again. So we'll see.
One of the things he talked about at times was, you know, again, it's a question of what motivates these guys sometimes, what's going to get him back into the octagon. One of the things he talked about was the kind of dream fight that he would love to have fought Georges St-Pierre, right? That was something that if that fight could have ever been made, that would have been huge for him, you know, and a kind of a legacy fight for him too. It's kind of hard to imagine, you know, at this stage. I've seen the interviews with George lately, and you know, he's in great shape. He's still working out, but you know, he's fought.
Got a head full of hair.
Yeah, got a head full of hair, but you know, it's fought what 8 years, I think it is now. Is there any way that you know, if that was what would get Khabib back, is there any chance that fight could get made?
If tomorrow night he tells me I'll come back and the only fight I'll do is Georges St-Pierre, it looks like I got to get to work. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's you know, it's intriguing.
I mean, the fight that I would obviously like to see is whoever wins on Saturday night. You know, we figure out who's going to be next to fight for this title, to face Khabib. I mean, that's what I would like to see. For GSP to come back, I mean, GSP has cemented his legacy. He even came back and beat Bisping at middleweight. You know, I'd like to see a fight with one of these other guys. Yeah,
he would. Do you think if it shakes out and it's, you know, and Conor McGregor is the guy standing there, and obviously that's a massive fight, the rematch. Just, you know, Khabib has made it pretty clear he didn't want to do it, right? He said that he had no interest in fighting him again, that he'd settled it. that he had won decisively, that story was written. And again, if it's not money, it's motivation sometimes, but that's in a lot of people's heads. That's still obvious, and from a promotional standpoint, it's obvious. But have you had that conversation with him?
No, we haven't had that conversation. No, but for a guy like him that's accomplished everything he wanted to accomplish except for the 30, I'm sure he has something in his mind that's like, this is what it's going to take for me to come back, or it's no.
Yeah.
So like I said, I think it's going to be a quick conversation. I think it's going to be easy. It's not something that I'm going to press or argue or whatever. We'll see what he says.
Well, I got you here. One other guy whose name is always going to come up in conversation, and always a few question marks around it. But what do you expect? What's Jon Jones 2021 going to be like?
Heavyweight. Jon Jones is going to move to heavyweight. We're going to have Stipe versus Francis, and the winner of that will probably fight Jon Jones.
Where's his head at right now, Dana? Like, how
listen? Me and Jon Jones have been like this for 10 years. We had probably the best conversation we've ever had since we've known each other around the holidays. And to me, he seems like he's in the right place. He's doing all the right things right now. He's saying all the right things. And I think, listen, if everything plays out for us the way that it's looking, our 2021 is we're going to see a lot of Jon Jones and we're going to see a lot of Conor. And maybe some Khabib. So
that would kind of come. That trifecta would be pretty good for you guys. Jon Jones, he has not looked like his dominant self recently. Does heavyweight change that? Is that a motivation thing? Is it a desire thing? Like we're not.
I think so. I mean, the guy's been the king of the light heavyweight division forever. And I think that he thinks it's time for him to move up to heavyweight. He knows his body. He knows his abilities. He knows better than anybody else does. But it's impressive. Let me tell you who wants to fight Francis Ngannou. The answer is nobody. Okay? Nobody wants to fight that guy. But Jon Jones does. Pretty impressive.
So that's, potentially an amazing calendar for you guys, Dana. Now, you've been able to keep going. You didn't miss a beat in terms of keeping the sport going during the pandemic. But what you haven't been able to do is fill an arena or fill a stadium. Well, nobody has. Looking into your crystal ball, I know there's been speculation that when you had the opportunity, you'd try and get into the new stadium in Vegas, the new Raiders stadium, and put on a mega event there and kind of to celebrate being back and the world being back. Do you, looking down the road right now, do you see anything like that in the foreseeable future?
I'm not doing anything until I can sell something out. So when I can sell something out, when one of these states, whether it's Florida, Texas, Abu Dhabi, says that I can sell every seat in the place, I will. I'll be the first.
So until then, so you're not interested in the 20% capacity, some of the stuff we've seen with football in the States, you wouldn't do that?
I love the Apex. And I love the arena they built for me here, the Etihad in Abu Dhabi. The Etihad arena that they built, they basically built it with the UFC in mind. So I basically have an Apex in Vegas and I have an Apex in Abu Dhabi. So I'm good.
So if some other jurisdiction came to you, though, and said, come on over, fill the joint, you'd look at that, though, right?
I'll do it. I won't look at it. I'll do it.
Hey, good talking to you, Dana. It's always fun. Good luck in 2021. Hope the world's better. But you've obviously got a pretty full calendar in front of you.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.